All right, Rabbi, thanks very much. And Timmy, I wish I could drive it 270 like Kevin. Sounds like a beast. We continue coverage from the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, back down at Volunteer Stadium and the international bracket.
Come together.
That's it. It's all over. The biggest upset in the history of Little League.
Complete game for Monet Davis.
A walk-on to go to the Little League World Series.
This is an experience and the most fantastic dreams unfold. Welcome to the wonder of the Little League World Series.
Curacao International Champions. They are going bananas.
Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by T-Mobile. It's been a lot of fun so far, and 2 games already in the books today. How about Curacao? You just heard they were here last year. Jadlin Wheel was here last year. Break in case of emergency, call on young Jadlin Wheel. And then in the United States bracket, the team from Seattle, Washington, over Maine. Washington's been on a heater since the start of the state tournament out west. That continued with the Bats in a run rule win. 20 teams in the Little League World Series, 10 from the United States, 10 international teams. The winners from each side meet 2 Sundays from now to crown the World Series champion. So Chinese Taipei and Canada on deck here on the international side at Volunteer Stadium, where we've had a ton of very competitive games. We saw 2 combined no-hitters yesterday in the first couple of games. With that, we say hello again. Welcome back to Williamsport. Xavier Scruggs, Mike Monaco with you. Sebastian Salazar joins us in a moment. All right, the international side, we've got some powers, Japan and Curacao. They've looked the part so far, but then we've also seen teams like Australia and the Czech Republic yesterday. They've battled as well.
Yeah, there's been such a cleanness to these games on the international side. I think it all started with Czech Republic and Panama putting together an attention to detail defensively and offensively. I expect it to continue here with Chinese Taipei and Canada.
Chinese Taipei fits right into that power category. 17 all-time World Series victories here in the history of this event. This year's team from Taoyuan, they're trying to continue on like last year. They made it to the international finals.
Yeah, there's a lot of expectation that come with them, but at the same time, this team seems loose. There's almost like a real looseness to them going out there, having fun, not being so stiff. And if there's any indication of what we saw in their defense, infield, outfield, this team is going to be tough to beat.
They got a lot of talent, and they got the pedigree as well. Outside of the United States, no country in the world with more Little League World Series championships than Taipei. So they go up against Canada, and meanwhile Canada in its region tournament in the country of Canada lost its first 3 games. Yet then they go on a heater, so they're embracing the underdog role.
Yeah, they're feeling good about themselves. They come in with a lot of confidence, and you think about them being that confident coming into this game against Chinese Taipei, that can be a big one right there.
All right, let's hear from their pitcher and catcher with Sebastian Salazar.
Thanks, guys. Got the battery for Team Canada here. Nash Tomchuk, the catcher, and Jackson Weir, the pitcher. All right, Jackson, just about to start. How we feeling?
Pretty good. Just we're here now. Just going to go out there, throw my best, do what I can.
All right, you haven't had a chance to play yet, but I'm assuming you're playing a lot up in the Grove. What's been your favorite part of the Williamsport experience so far?
Just being here when we came. I didn't expect this much, but now we're here, and everything's just amazing and beyond me.
Amazing, incredible. That is truly what it's about here in Williamsport. All right, Nash, tell me what it's like catching Jackson.
He throws very hard. He never misses his spots, and he never gets down on himself.
All right, now I can see the hair creeping out from under your hat. Aside from the hair, what makes this team special?
No one gets down on himself, and everyone always picks up each other. So that's really good.
Team Canada always picking each other up, guys. We send it back to you.
Throws really hard, never misses his spot. What more could you ask for in your starting pitcher for the team from Regina, Saskatchewan, going up against the Little League Baseball World Series on ESPN is presented by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. 7,712 miles from Williamsport is where the journey started for Chinese Taipei. From Taoyuan, this is Guishan Little League, and they have made it here. They had quite the send-off as well on the journey to get to this point and represent Taiwan in Williamsport. Let's meet their team.
我的名字是林伟宏，我最喜欢吃的食物是海鲜。我的名字叫做谢品宏，我最喜欢的科目是地理。我叫吴敬佑，我最喜欢的歌手是贾斯汀比伯。我的名字是蔡元浩，我最喜欢的甜点是巧克力蛋糕。我的名字叫赖玉君，最喜欢的球员是铃木一朗。
我的名字是邱泽伟，我最喜欢的食物是生鱼片。
我的名字是许兆杰，我最喜欢的歌手是 Lady Gaga。
我的名字叫范成俊，最喜欢的食物是鸡肉饭。
我是刘安，我最喜欢的球员是周杰伦。
我的名字是陈海生，我最喜欢的运动员是史蒂芬库里。
我的名字是吴彦凯，我最喜欢的球队是洋基。
我的名字是吴云熙，我最喜欢的球员是大谷翔平。
我的名字叫叶清汉，我最喜欢的球队是天使。
我叫吴晨阳，我最喜欢的动物是企鹅。
They represent the Asia Pacific region. A 5-0 mark there. They advanced out of that event held in Seoul, South Korea in June. Their first game here, and they face Canada, Regina, Saskatchewan, who turns indeed to Jackson Weir. You heard from him pregame. We asked him to share something about himself. He said, live life like it's a 3-1 count.
Yes, I love the attitude. Lefty with some lettuce. Keep an eye on the changeup today. That's one of his go-to pitches. He threw about 6 out of 8 of them during warm-up.
His first pitch is in for strike one to Woo Yoon-shi, the first baseman for Chinese Taipei. Yeah, we've seen all sorts of different pitches. You were watching our first international game of the day off-site, and you said you saw a cutter.
Yeah. They're mixing them all in, Mike.
Saw a good curveball yesterday from the Japanese starting pitcher, Hinato Jigaki. Seen big fastballs down here as well. One-two, and a strikeout for Jackson Weir to start.
And that's going to be the focus, right? Coming right at the Chinese Taipei hitters, using that fastball, staying in the strike zone, commanding your pitches. He looks really sharp early on.
Now faces the catcher for Chinese Taipei, Chen Kai-sheng. A math lover. He is the middle of 3 brothers. And as the catcher for Chinese Taipei, no surprise he says his favorite baseball player is Yadier Molina. Favorite team, a team you know well, the Cardinals. And Chen's got a single with one out here in the first into center. And Taipei's got a man aboard.
Great approach there, staying through the middle of the field. That's one of those ways that you kind of get these jitters off of you, right? Obviously, some of these kids are coming in with some nervousness, some anxiousness. You go after a pitch, you stay through the middle of the field. It even gets in on him a little bit, but gets enough barrel. Take it right back where it came from.
Looking loose, and he's on for Fan Chun-jun in the 3 spot for Chinese Taipei. And it's starting pitcher. Fisted foul, and it's 0-2 against the quick-working Jackson Weir. Now, we got all kinds of nicknames at the Little League World Series. If you've watched it before, you know that. Chinese Taipei might have the best of any team here. Fan Chun-jun's nickname is Big Dummy. Grounds it to short. Junior went to second for Jelsing, and it's in the right. Chen the third, and Chinese Taipei has him at the corners here in the first.
Yeah, that's obviously one of those mistakes there. As the shortstop, Junior gets this ball, just kind of maybe rushed the throw a little bit, came little arm side. I like that Nuremberg was backing up there in right field, because obviously if he's not backing up on that play, you're looking at the first run for Chinese Taipei.
And valuing every run and every opportunity, Canada brings the infield in ahead of the cleanup man batting for Chinese Taipei, Wu Chen-yong.
And we get a picture here. The infield is in, looking to maybe cut down that run if you get a ball hit to one of these infielders. Trying to get that out at home.
Strike one from Jackson Weir to Wu. Weir's their ace. Coaching staff told us that Jackson Weir wasn't available to pitch in the finals in Canada because he had pitched in the semis. This one to the backstop, and Chen doesn't test Tomchuk from third. Fan does advance to second, moving up 60 feet. Now there's two in scoring position with indeed the one out.
Yeah, really nice job by Chen watching that ball, make sure it was right there.
Line drive to third and off the glove of McQueen and into left. Chen scores. Fan behind him, and Wu drives in two.
And Wu shaking it over there first base. Wu gets the party started for Chinese Taipei. You see a pitch a little bit down in the zone. Look at that barrel balance staying through the baseball. A little bit of that personality over that first base. 2 RBIs for Wu.
What a start for Chinese Taipei. Wu Chen-yong drives in a pair. And now Xu Xiaoxia, the shortstop at the 5 spot. So we're already seeing the nicknames and the personality too, the dance moves from this team from Taoyuan. And that's something their coaching staff talked about coming here. A place they have been before, including the manager Lee Chung-ta. As that's a walk issued by Weir against Xu. And there's 2 on, and Lee Chung-ta said that they're trying to enjoy it a little bit more. And that's the reason why he took 14 players on his roster this year, because he wants the maximum number of kids to be able to experience this.
Yeah, that's so awesome. You just think about the opportunity. You talked about how far they traveled to get here, and to think about they all get to experience this. Of course, with everybody in the lineup, they'll all get to hit. So special for all these kids to be able to be on this stage right now.
Well, we've already seen 5 batters come to the plate for Chinese Taipei here in the first. And with 14 players on the roster, new to Little League Baseball this year, we've got a continuous batting order. So we're going to bat for Chinese Taipei 1 through 14 before the lineup flips to the top. You don't have to play any amount of defense in particular, and you can sub freely defensively, but the idea is to get everyone, if you can, more than just the one at bat you'd often see with the way substitutions used to be.
And I wouldn't doubt if that mound visit was a little bit about let's slow it down, Weir. Let's try to figure out, you know, how to repeat our delivery and be able to just command the strike zone right now. Obviously, you still got runners on first and second. A double play is still available with the ground ball.
This is Yi Ching Han on the ground to first. Fair ball. Malboof taps the bag for out number 2 with Wu to third and Xu to second.
Malboof, very smart decision there as the first baseman. Just went and touched his bag. Didn't try to necessarily throw the guy out at second or third. Very smart decision to hold on to that baseball.
So it gets Weir second out. Now Leo Yoan. And it's a quick working Jackson Weir out there.
Yeah, he's working quick, but you know what? Chinese Taipei is ready for it. I was kind of concerned in the beginning of the first at bat, seeing how quick he was moving. Is Chinese Taipei going to be able to slow him down? They haven't really had an issue with getting on time.
Using their timeouts as well. Hot shot, foul.
Got no balls, 2 strikes. Play.
0-2. Up high. And Leo resists.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Jackson Weir trying to keep it right here. Just misses the edge, 2-2.
He wanted that when he started walking off a little bit, but that's a good spot there, right? Expand the zone there with 2 strikes, see if you can get a swing out of the zone.
2-2. Got him. Chinese Taipei starts out with a 2-0 lead thanks to this and the moves from Wu Chen-yong.
Yeah, Wu already over there dancing because you know what he did? He drove in 2 for Chinese Taipei early in this one.
North Regina Little League. Regina is the capital city of the province of Saskatchewan and the 2nd largest city in the province behind Saskatoon. It's the home of many NHL players, current and former. Let's meet the team representing Canada.
My name is Pierce Terrell and my favorite food is pizza.
My name is Dylan Leach. My favorite athlete is Sidney Crosby.
My name is Braden McQueen. My dream job is becoming an MLB player.
My name is Trayton Manzik and my favorite food is lobster and salad.
My name is Nixon Jelsing. My favorite artist is Morgan Wallen. My name is Bryden Nurnberg and my favorite school subject is math. My name is Jackson Bilbo. My favorite player is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. My name is Cannon Jr. and my favorite band is AC/DC.
My name is Jackson Weir and my favorite player is Julio Rodriguez.
My name is Nash Tomchuk and my favorite food is sushi.
My name is Tate Sacksmith and my favorite athlete is Connor Bedard. My name is Creason Melwoof and my favorite artist is Travis Scott.
We told you this Canadian team lost its first 3 games in the Canada region that was held in Regina. 7 teams there, and then they ripped off 5 wins in a row to improbably get here to the Little League World Series. They go up against Fan Chun-Jun, who's on the bump. We told you, nickname Big Dummy, and the coaches say that's ironic. Don't let it fool you. He is a real weapon of the team.
Yeah, and his weapon is going to be the arm today. I'm watching this dude, and he's throwing gas during warm-ups. Keep your eye on the velocity with this kid, Fan.
And Nash Tomchuk's already taken his time in the box. So Fan Chun-Jun took time himself, stepped off. Now he deals. How about 78?
Told you.
Oh, that's 101. You were not kidding. 80 miles an hour. Are you kidding me?
I was watching him warm up, and I was back here trying to time him up. I couldn't even time him up, thinking about how hard he was throwing.
Have we seen 80 here? You and I have been here 3 years. I don't believe we've seen 80. We've seen 78.
Yes.
We got to get Ravi on the horn here. 79 at the knees. What do you do?
This is going to be one of those games where, as we get another look of this, because this is possibly maybe the hardest thrower we've seen here in the Little League World Series, throwing 80 miles an hour, equivalent to 104 miles an hour. But you got to get ready early if you're Team Canada.
It's a ground ball roller from Jackson Weir to first, and a sliding play made by Woo Yoon Chi. Nicely done at first for out number 2.
Yeah, really nice job of Wu by getting back to the bag as quick as possible. He realizes Fan is not going to be there at the bag, so he's got to get back quick. Does a nice job of sliding to get his foot there as soon as possible. Very athletic play made over there by Wu.
So 2 outs, and here's Braden McQueen. He's got a breaking ball too. Braden McQueen was born in Australia, lived there for the first 2.5 years of his life before he moved to Canada. So that's a 70-mile-an-hour slider. You rarely see guys hit 70 miles an hour in Little League. That is a slider. That's disgusting. Unreal.
Well, he's just playing with them at this point. It's a pitch he may not even need. But let's get another look at this because the slider has extreme movement. I mean, you're talking about vertical and horizontal break. My man needs his own baseball savant page. It's nasty.
Back at the Little League Baseball World Series presented by T-Mobile. You got to cool down as well with some of the treats from around this venue. Got to cool down when you're seeing 80-mile-an-hour gas as well. We texted Ravi. Said he's not positive if he's seen 80 miles an hour, but he confirmed what we think. This kid is comical, is what Ravi said about Fan Chun Jun, who, I mean, we've seen guys hit 80, doing some research there between the break. There was a kid from Panama who grabbed 80 at least a few times on some video that we pulled up between innings, but to have a 70 and 71 mile an hour slider with that late life as well.
And honestly, Mike, I think there could be more in the tank. It looked natural, it looked easy. See if his team can get him some more runs.
We might be watching something very interesting here today. Wu Qin-yu, the left fielder for Chinese Taipei, leads off in the second against Jackson Weir. 2-0 the lead for this team from Taoyuan. Bouncing ball foul. I love how we just watch warm-ups like you did, and you tried to warn us, like velocity's coming. But when you're 12-year-olds and you're from 7,700 miles away,
right?
Yeah, we don't have the baseball savant page and the synergy video to pour over to know exactly what's coming.
Play.
Plus, again, they wrote down his nickname was Big Dummy. So, like, we didn't have a lot to go off of there.
Right.
It didn't say 80 miles an hour.
No, didn't say fireball or nothing like that. But it's going to be quite fun to watch today. Even on Canada's side, Weir has some nasty stuff for a lefty.
Like that, up the ladder with some cut as well to strike out Wu. And 3 Ks already for Jackson Weir.
Yeah, and I like the delivery from him. It's kind of that tough pitch as far as his arm angle to stay off of that one up in the zone. That's going to be tough for them to stay off of. If they can get him down, they'll have a better chance of making better contact.
Lin Wei Hong squared and then took ball 1. Big fan of Shohei Ohtani. And Lin Wei Hong says, if I had a walk-up song, it'd be My Heart Will Go On. Who saw that coming? Ooh. Titanic movie theme song. He
Celine
wrote.
Dion?
Yes. It was released in 1997. He was 14 years away from being born. Up high, 3-1 to Celine Dion's biggest fan.
And it's going to be important today for Weir to make sure, you know, he's just throwing strikes, right? Just playing catch with the catcher, because this Chinese Taipei team is so disciplined as far as what they're looking for in the strike zone. They've already made him throw 35 pitches, and he's only got 1 out in the second.
On the ground, up the middle, base hit, and Lin Wei Hong will go on to first. A 1-out single. Find Little League on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the official handles @Little League. Follow the action and join the conversation with LLWS. So many great stories out there, including something that we saw yesterday. A Ukrainian refugee now playing with the Czech Republic. Family reunions on the Cuban side. There's been a whole lot going on here in Williamsport. Canada makes a pitching change. That'll also preserve the arm of Jackson Weir, get him back earlier the rest of this tournament. We step aside. Pitching change early on for the Canadian side, and they summon Nixon Jelsing to the mound. And coaching staff says he might be smaller in stature, but Nixon's got an electric arm. And so he's on the bump here for this team from Regina, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Nixon got to help his team kind of get that momentum back, get some energy going for his team by just throwing strikes, right? Chinese Taipei is looking to make sure that he's attacking the zone because they're very disciplined at the plate. They're not afraid to take walks. They'll be looking for something middle.
And more good hair on the Canada side. First pitch from Jelsing is to Tsai Yuan Hao. Look at the hair.
He's got some flow, doesn't he?
Knee-high strike. Sebi texted us pregame. He said, Canada, best lettuce at the tourney so far. That was with 6 minutes to air. Hot shot at second, past Sorrell into right center. Lean sprints to third. And it's second and third for Chinese Taipei in the second.
And what I loved here is, you know, obviously a great swing, but also understanding as soon as I hit this ball and this ball gets past the second baseman, I got an opportunity to get to second base. Remember how small these little league fields are. If the ball's hit hard past the second baseman or the shortstop, you're looking at maybe a ball in the gap. That's great base running, no slowing down, making sure he gets himself to second base.
They've been pretty surgical with the base running and really everything we have seen to this point here in the top of the second. Brings up Chiu Wei, who bats as the 11th man to come to the plate so far for Chinese Taipei. Again, they will have 14 bat, the entire roster.
2 balls, no strikes.
Chiu celebrated his 12th birthday a few weeks ago. That's a strike, 2-1. He's a big fan of the Chainsmokers. Favorite song, Something Just Like This. It's a good bop.
Good vibe right there.
On the ground foul. Interesting road for Chinese Taipei to get to this point as well. They have been 4-0 in the Asia Pacific region. And that set up a matchup with South Korea in the title game. In the air left field, Bilbo goes back and he makes a catch, adjusting. Lean tags and scores on a sac fly from Chiu. And another run for Chinese Taipei. And well done by Jackson Bilbo.
Yeah, gotta love the ability to go out there, try to make contact, drive something to the outfield, get yourself a sacrifice fly, and add another run on the board. Got to give credit to Bilbo, though, staying with that baseball. That's not a tough and easy play to make.
Brings up Wu Yan Kai. So anyway, it set up a matchup for Chinese Taipei against South Korea in the championship game. And South Korea won that game. But it then went under protest. Chinese Taipei protested the roster of the South Korean team, and it was found that South Korea did have 2 players who played for a different team from South Seoul, then got added to the roster of that South Seoul team that was in the championship after the first one got eliminated. So in the end, Taipei got here to Williamsport, and they are living up to the pedigree. Formed through history. Fan Chun-jun back to the bump.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by T-Mobile. Headed to the bottom of the second between Canada and Chinese Taipei. First batter for Canada going to be Kanan Jr. I got his dad, Deke, here with me. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling good right now. I'm going to lose my voice in a bit probably, but yeah, we're feeling good right now.
All right, you got to explain these shirts to me. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 parents wearing the NOD versus the world. What is that?
NOD is north of Dewdney. It's Regina, north end of the city. We're all from there, so we're repping hard today.
Yeah, and versus the world, you guys kind of have that underdog mentality, right?
NOD versus the world, yeah, 100%, man.
All right, what's it like seeing your kid out here repping Canada?
Oh, it's a dream come true, a father's dream come true. And yeah, I'm proud of him, and it's amazing feeling for sure.
All right, Deke, enjoy the moment. Here he is. Guys, back to you.
Go Red.
Kanan Jr., the offspring of Deke Jr. The names are incredible. And right now, Cannon Jr., the shortstop for Canada in the cleanup spot, he's trying to solve Fan Chun-Jun, who just mixed in, I think, a third different pitch. Snaps off the slider again. Filthy.
Well, just watching him pitch, you can tell with the off speed, it has such late break, and it's crazy because you see these guys from a hitting standpoint, it looks like it's coming right down the middle, and then by the time it gets to him, the hitter, it's in the other batter's box. So it just tells you the break and how much there is and how late it is.
Again, if you're just joining us, he's hit 80 miles an hour and thrown a slider at 71 and 70. Fastball to start at 77 to Trayton Manzuk, a speedy center fielder in the 5 spot for Canada. What do you think the fastest velo was you ever saw in Little League?
It wasn't no 80 miles an hour, I'll tell you that. Maybe 74, 75, 76.
I mean, we had a kid in my town of Cohasset, Massachusetts, who threw 65, and we had to get him on our team that summer.
In Little League, I remember facing Steven Strasburg, Mikey Leake. Some of those guys were in our division that ended up being major league players. They were throwing hard at that age.
In Little League?
Yes.
Just off the back door. Both batter and pitcher thought that was strike 3. Fan Chun-Jun's 1-2. Nasty again. Face 5, punch down 4. Is anyone going to touch him?
And it's interesting because, you know, Canada hasn't even really shown that they could catch up to the velocity, but he's still mixing in the off speed. It's almost like he's getting his work in with some of that off speed and making sure he's got the command with it.
16 pitches, 7 swings and misses, 1 ball in play, 2 foul balls. So they made contact 3 times out of the gates against Fan Chun-Jun. He now faces Bryden Nurnberg, the right fielder.
And check out the outfield. We're seeing a massive shift from center field and right field just because of the velocity, and Canada hasn't shown that they've been able to catch up to it.
.5'8", 164 pounds. The 12-year-old, his birthday is in October. I mean, that looks like a slider we see in the collegiate game. I'm serious. Fan Chun-Jun's 1-2. Gas. 80 again. How do you touch Fan Chun-Jun?
I mean, that's going to be the question all day. Check out these strikeouts. The slider is moving. You got nasty break on it, late break, and then you go with the heater up top. My man Vaughn is unfair.
Williamsport, Pennsylvania is the center of the world.
I want my curveball like Clayton Kershaw's and my fastball like Monet Davis.
Monet Davis is the first girl to pitch a shutout in the 68-year history of the Little League World Series.
Always love our buddy Monet Davis, royalty here in Williamsport. And let's meet Stella Weaver, brought to you by Dollar Car Rental. She will become the 22nd female to play here at the Little League Baseball World Series, and she put up some big-time numbers, both as a pitcher and as a hitter in the Southeast Regional for a Tennessee team that is here for a 3rd straight year.
Oh, yeah, she's balling. Got a chance to see a couple of the games before they even got here. She's going to be one of those ones that you got to keep your eye on just because she can do so many dynamic things out there on the field.
That's in the United States bracket. Right now, we are in the international bracket with a great view at Volunteer Stadium as we go to the 3rd. He's Xavier Scruggs. Sebastian Salazar is down at field level. Mike Monaco with you, our entire crew behind the scenes. This game produced by Jacob Garza and directed by Dan McVan. Xia Pin Hong, the right fielder for Chinese Taipei, leads it off against Nixon Jelsing. In the air, left field. Jackson Bilbo has been up to the task twice now. One away.
Yeah, they're making Bilbo work out there in left field. Does a nice job of staying with the baseball. You know, these outs, early outs especially for Canada, are going to be so crucial just to keep guys off base, right? Keep the momentum on your side so you can try to get back into the dugouts as soon as possible and try to get your offense going.
Brings up Lai Yu-jun, the second baseman, and the 14th man to bat for Chinese Taipei, up 3-0. Pulled on a rope to right center field, and that splits the gap and one hops the wall. Lai Yu-jun has a double here in the third.
And you gotta love the way Lai Yu-jun was able to stay on this baseball. Did a great job of getting that barrel out in front, catching something out. You see the leg kick, balanced. Flip the bat a little bit. You know it's in the gap. Get my booty over to second base and hurry up. Did a nice job there. Little shake after. Kind of love the celebrations at second base too when you hit a double.
The Sellies are on point for Chinese Taipei to this point. This group from Taoyuan.
Here we go.
All right, so back to the top. This is Woo Yun-chi, the first baseman. And he ropes one right to the same spot in right center, and he bounces one off the wall. Lai scores from second. A couple bullets from Chinese Taipei, 4-0.
And what I really liked with runner in the scoring position, Wu was not waiting around. He was going to look for that first pitch, little toe tap, backside rotation, bam, opposite field double. That's a money swing right there to put another run on the board. They keep tacking them on. It's 4-0 early.
Fly out and then double. And now first pitch swinging. Jelson stabs and he throws out Chen Kai-sheng. Wu moves to third. On out number 2.
人家已经丢了，你还没准备好。
So 2 gone and a deep breath from 4'8", 81-pound Nixon Jelsing, facing Superman Fan Chun-jun. Fan Chun-jun on a line to left and gone. He can do it all.
June hit this ball. And it was gone in about 2 seconds. Fan hit this ball, it was gone in about 2 seconds. Check this out again. Up in the zone. Just a linea out to left field. It was almost so low he didn't know if it was gonna get out for a second, but that ball was smoked out to left field.
I think we got a new clubhouse leader for the best player we've seen so far of the 20 teams. Now, not everyone has played, but at the Little League World Series. I mean, if you can throw an 80-mile-an-hour fastball and a 71-mile-an-hour slider and hit a ball that hard off your bat, you are the clubhouse leader. Wu Chen-yong had a 2-run single his first time, and the dance moves to back it up. He's ahead in the count 2-0. If you weren't with us yesterday, Panama's Omar Vargas had 4 hitless, 12 strikeout innings and a grand slam.
2 balls, no strikes.
That's pretty good as well. 3-0 the count on Wu.
I'm still in awe of that swing by Fan. Jackson Bilbo out there in left field didn't even have a chance to react to the baseball because it was hit so hard.
Wu walks and a 2-out base runner. I'm with you, man. Like, what do you genuinely think the exit velocity on this was?
Let's check this out again.
95 mile an hour and plus is hard hit. In the major leagues, I should say.
I mean, at his age, maybe 90, 92,
right,
somewhere around there.
Really
But I think what impressed me more, the ball's up in the zone, right? And he got his hands inside that baseball to be able to rocket it out to left field. You can tell that there's a different maturity in his game.
That is something for Fan Chun-Jun. Chinese Taipei has forced another Canadian pitching change, and man, we keep seeing some very impressive stuff at the Little League World Series. X and Mike back upstairs with you. And we started this game talking about how impressed we were with Japan, Curacao, a couple of powers here, and we said Chinese Taipei has the pedigree, the history, the 17 titles. They haven't had one since the 90s. We're getting way too far ahead of ourselves to talk about that.
Right.
But they got a star that looks like what they've had at their peak.
Absolutely. Fan has just been unhittable from a mound standpoint, and then what he just did with the bat has shown us that he's going to be a special player here in this tournament. I think another thing that we've noticed is a looseness with this Chinese Taipei team. The personality came out early. You could tell there's a lot of energy. That momentum may carry on throughout the rest of this game.
Yeah, it's a team that we talked about how they got to this point too, coming out of the Asia Pacific region. Now they come here with a little bit more levity and looseness to them, and you said it, we saw it right from the moment they hit go, and they're looking the part as well against a Canadian team that fancied themselves underdogs, knowing what stood in front of them in this game.
And I think another thing too is they've been so disciplined at the plate. They're not swinging at balls. They've done a nice job of looking for something up in the zone to be able to drive. We've already seen a few doubles now, and home run, extra base hits have been on the board for them.
Pitching change, as we said, for Canada. The batter is Xu Xiaoxia, and the new arm is Creason Malbooth, who had been the first baseman to start this game for Canada. And now the 5'5" right-hander takes over. And the coaching staff says this guy is unfazed by pretty much anything. They said ice in the veins of Creason. Line drive left field, base hit. Xu walked his first time, and now he singles. Wu to second. 2 on with 2 out and 6 already in for Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, and even Creason, that's a good pitch right there. Slider down in the zone. But Xu doing a nice job of just staying back, letting that ball travel. Another base hit to the outfield for Chinese Taipei.
And about as big a smile as you can find. All right, it brings up Yi Ching Han. Grounded out his first time. Again, we talked about the nicknames. I think Seabass has hopefully more info on this, but Yi Ching Han's nickname is dumpling. It's his favorite food. So just name him that as well.
There you go. Guys, his nickname is listed as Soup Dumpling, but I've actually found out he's picked up a new nickname here in Williamsport. The coaches are telling me our guy is like obsessed with the golf carts here at the Little League World Series. They're everywhere, and he's been begging the organizers to let him drive one. Of course, they haven't yet, but he has taken to calling himself AJ, as in AJ Foyt. I guess in an attempt to convince the powers that be to let him behind the wheel. No such luck yet, and no such luck there.
Line drive for AJ to left. Bilbo, another nice catch. And the inning is over, but this day belongs to Fan Chun-Jun.
Yeah, we got to see it again because it happened so quick the first time. Let's show it to you over and over again because the kid is special, hitting rockets out to left.
This week's Sunday Night Baseball heads here to Williamsport for the 6th annual MLB Little League Classic, just 5 miles away from these fields. Bowman Field, series finale, Phillies and Nationals, 7 Eastern, on ESPN and ESPN Deportes, and a special kids cast over on ESPN2. And our coverage starts at 6 Eastern with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown here on ESPN. Yeah, this guy's been the story. Fan Chun-Jun. I think by the time the big leaguers roll in a few days from now, they'll want to know about Fan. We saw this a couple of years ago with South Dakota's stud Gavin Weir, who was a part of a couple of no-hitters here. And when the big leaguers got here, they wanted to talk to Gavin Weir. And there was a pitcher for the Angels, I believe, who FaceTimed with Chris Sale at one point because there were similarities between Chris Sale and Gavin Weir.
I think we even did a split screen at one point, Gavin Weir and Chris Sale. Some of these guys are so advanced with, you know, the velocity, but also the command.
And Fan is certainly that, with a slider that is flummoxing the Canadian bats, as Tate Sexsmith leads off for this Saskatchewan team in the third. 0-2. And another strikeout. 6 of them, and 5 in a row among 7 batters faced for Fan Chun-Jun.
I mean, we showed you what he did with the bat. Now the arm has been incredible. You see the velocity, which no hitters has been able to catch up to, but also the slider is something that is so devastating as far as break. He just continues to mow him down, and I have a feeling he's just getting started.
Perfect so far. Now he faces Dylan Leach. I mean, he's dotting 78 to the glove side. There's no way you can hit that, right?
I mean, for Canada, it's more about, you know, trying to get started early with your load and almost uncomfortable starting early. But at the same time, I say that, and then there's movement on the off-speed pitch, and the slider's breaking a good 1.5 feet.
0-2. Another one. 7 Ks, 8 batters face, all of it on 26 pitches for Fan Chun-Jun.
And I think something important to remember as we're watching Fan do his thing for Canada, you have to think that they probably have never seen anybody with this type of stuff. So to say that you have to make an adjustment is much easier said than done, because this is something that's totally new to them.
It's strike 1. It's 7 strikes in this bottom of the third. And now Creason Malbouf is the batter.
Did he go?
He went, so it's 8 strikes for Fan Chun-Jun here in the third. Fan has hit 80 a couple of times. He has smashed a home run. And now in the third, he's got an immaculate inning. Fan Chun-Jun is Jacob deGrom, the Little League version. This is unreal. Pennsylvania, tucked in the mountains here in Pennsylvania. 6-0 Chinese Taipei into the fourth. This Taiwanese group has been mighty impressive against the Canadian outfit. He's used a few different arms so far, and trying to stare down a pitcher as good as any we can recall seeing here. Leo Yoan facing Creason Malbouf in the fourth. Popped up, foul ground, and that one hauled in on a fine diving catch by Nash Tomchuk. Go get it.
Yeah, originally thought this ball was out of play as I peeked over the booth here, and look how quick he gets to this baseball. Is able to stay with it, knowing that the brick wall is right there. Just sacrifices the body, does an amazing job coming up with that catch.
Brings up Woo Chin Yu, and Braden McQueen throws him out. This Canadian defense looking sharp here in the fourth.
Yeah, and that's going to be one of those things that's going to help them build momentum that they can hopefully transfer to the offensive side. McQueen doing a nice job of being able to recognize soft hit, get to it quick, use the bare hand, boom. Perfect throw over to first base.
So a couple quick ones for Creason Malbouf, who's faced 4 batters on 8 pitches. And now starts out against Lin Wei Hong, the center fielder. Singled to center after he ran it full his first time in the second.
Ball. 2 balls, no strike.
Two-0. That's a strike on the inside part of the plate.
2 balls, 1 strike.
The stone cold Creason Malbouf deals on the ground left side. And Cannon Jr. safe at first. Lin Wei Hong digging down the line. And he's got a 2-out infield single in the 4th.
Lin did a nice job of being able to bust it out of the box. Check him out here. Just a routine ground ball, but he's smelling a hit right out of that box. Look at the speed. Just beats it out over there. That's one thing that you got to teach in Little League is you never know what play you can offer to be on base for your team. Defensively, it's tough to make some of these plays because the field is small, the bases are shorter, so anytime you can bust it right out of the box, you give yourself an opportunity to be on base.
Lin was flying. Coaches say his nickname is Small Monkey. He's small and moves very fast like a monkey. This one fouled away by Sai Yuen Hao.
Well, you could tell that his approach was kind of, let me get something on the ground so I can get going. It was even more impressive. Kind of held on to the bat for a little bit out of the box too, but still was moving down the line.
To get on for the second time out of the 9 spot in the Taiwan lineup.
All right, we got 2 strikes. Play.
Flashed foul.
There you go.
Chinese Taipei was absolutely rolling in the Asia Pacific region. 5 games there. They won their first 9-1. Then they beat China 20-0. Beat Guam 19-0. Beat Indonesia 16-0 in the semifinals. On the ground to third. Braden McQueen ends the inning. Good work defensively from Canada in the 4th. Give us all the Fan Chun Jun back to work next.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by T-Mobile. Headed to the bottom of the 4th between Chinese Taipei and Canada here in Williamsport. I'm Sebastian Salazar. Thanks for following along with us. I'm joined by the Shea family. I got son Ben and dad Dirk here. One of my favorite parts of the Little League World Series is meeting people who are here to support the international bracket teams but don't have any direct connection to the team. So tell me the story, because this ain't the first time you've driven to Williamsport from down near the DC area, right?
No, my dad first brought me and my mom in 2007 when I was 12, and we've been back every year. Chinese Taipei's made it out. And 2009 and I think 2012 is the same Little League team, Guishan Elementary School. So been a big fan, and it's been a big part of my childhood growing up.
And you guys have actually gotten to like share moments with the teams over the years, right? You were telling me you were bringing them food one year.
Yeah, I mean, especially earlier on, these kids were eating too much ice cream that they weren't having at home and having some stomach troubles, and you can't have that if you got to go out and pitch the big game. So yeah, one of my dad's close friends was a restaurateur. We would drive up buckets and buckets of minced pork with rice, a traditional Taiwanese dish, like braised pork dish. For the kids to eat, we drive it up in our minivan. It was yeah, and we actually, when we go back to Taiwan to see family, we've gone out to see a couple of the schools as well, which has been really special.
All right, we got to get some of that food up to the broadcast booth. We'll revisit that in a sec. Dirk, I want to ask you, because you really were the one that started this, like how long have you been following the Little League World Series? What are your first memories of this event?
Okay, when I was 11, so the first time that Chinese Taipei team, that time still our name is Republic of China. I come to here, so the whole family, the whole alley, everybody wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and in a small guest room. That time only one house got television, so everybody watch our team. And we learned a lot of story that the overseas Chinese, right now we say overseas Taiwanese, they help the small kids to support them. So after 40 years, 50 years, I'm the overseas Taiwanese, so it's my turn to support them. I thought that's my I need to do that.
And 50 years later, what does it mean to see your homeland represented here at the Little League World?
Oh, their age is just like my grandchildren right now. And the coach, since I was here in 2009 and 2012, so the coach is my best friend, one of my best friends. So, when I saw them play, I just remember my childhood, and I want to bring my son and my grandchildren come to here to enjoy it again.
All right, let's send it back up to the booth. Guys, thanks so much for sharing your story. Really appreciate it.
It's incredible stuff, and I agree with Sebastian. So cool hearing how folks with ties to these countries and these areas come out and support. Well, look what we have here. 35 pitches deep through 3 2/3 of perfect ball. Fan Chun-Jun is coming out of this game. Because of that, he only needs 1 day rest. If he had kept going, he would have needed 2 days of rest. Before his next outing, we witnessed greatness. Fan Chun-Jun was spectacular today.
Yeah, unreal. I mean, you're talking about a kid that was throwing equivalent to 104, 105 miles an hour, but then he'd break you off with the nasty slider, almost like he's messing around with these kids.
Dude, I bet you it's like 78, 79, 80. I bet you that's what he's humming right now.
I bet that pitcher's hot.
I bet you that if this team gets that pitcher in the final, they're winning it.
I made contact.
Dude, you absolutely barreled that. I was so jacked up for you.
They know what everyone watching knows.
Yes. And that's the attitude too, right, Mike? You think about the positivity. They know how tough that is. So in order for a guy to just maybe make contact, that's a W for a lot of these kids.
Chiu Zhou takes over. Fan Chun-Jun threw 35 pitches. 5 times Canada made contact. 2 balls in play, including that barrel we heard from. 3 foul balls. They made contact 5 times. Again, 16 swings and misses on 35 pitches. An absolute mastery and perfection from Fan Chun-Jun.
Yeah, we're just now getting a taste of Fan and what he's going to be capable of doing throughout this tournament. And don't forget, my man absolutely roped that ball for a home run to left. Like, he's going to have a lot of impact on these games moving forward.
They say that Nixon Jelsing went around, so it's a strikeout there for Chiu Zhou, continuing what Fan started. Little League stats are provided by Game Changer, the official scorekeeping and stats technology partner of Little League and the Little League World Series. Game Changer now offers free live streaming for regular season local youth games, plus automatic video highlight clips when you stream and score your games. We saw 2 combined no-hitters on this field yesterday. Panama in the first game of the entire event against the Czech Republic, and then Japan against Cuba in a game that had just 1 hit in that 1-0 Japanese win. And now here into the 5th, Chinese Taipei pitching has been perfect against Canada. Top 5, and Creason Malboof working for the Canadian group. Chiu Zhou just came on to replace Fan Chun-Jun. Chio had a sac fly to left his first time. 2-0 here.
Malboof did a really nice job last inning, being able to throw up the first 0 for his team. Trying to continue that momentum from a pitching standpoint. He's got to get back to getting in the zone, doing what he did last inning.
3 balls, no strikes.
Creason wrote on his bio, self-declared, "I'm not funny."
3-1.
The rest of his team did not agree with that. They said he is one of the funny ones on the team. On the ground to short. Cannon Jr., strong arms. It's Canada defense come to play last few innings, and really all game with what Jackson Bilbo has done in left field as well.
Right, when they've had their opportunities, they've made the plays. You know, obviously there's been some hard hit balls that have been tough to make the play on, but still these guys are doing a great job of sticking their nose in it, staying in front of the baseball, making strong throws to record outs.
Brings up Wu Yan Kai. Second trip to the plate.
Ball. 2 balls, no strikes.
I think what impresses me most about the Chinese Taipei offense right now is they're not afraid to let the ball travel and get deep. I remember being 11 and 12 years old, and I felt like always trying to go and get the baseball, trying to get my barrel out in front. They have a balanced approach and allow the ball to travel. They're not afraid to go opposite field with the baseball. That's one of the things that'll separate them with maybe some other teams here in this tournament.
Kan Yi-jo, one of the assistant coaches for Taiwan, said back home, that's what this team is known for, their offense and their hitting. And, I mean, you're seeing it, you're saying it. It's an advanced approach.
Absolutely.
Popped up on a 3-2. And Junior's got it for out number 2. Again, and it's crazy to think that for how good Chinese Taipei had been in the Asia Pacific region, we read you the scores, just obliterating everyone in its path on the way to the championship game, outscoring them 64-1 to get there. They played the game and they lost to South Korea 2-1, but South Korea ruled to have violated the roster rules, changed its rosters, and taken players from outside those boundaries. So then it was ruled a forfeit a few days later. So if not for that, we wouldn't even be getting to watch this Taiwanese team on this stage.
Right.
And we wouldn't watch Fan Chun-jun. 3-0 the count here to Sia Pin Hong.
3 balls, no strikes.
I mean, the team found out the decision about it 5 days after the petition was submitted by Chinese Taipei. The kids got told individually on the Taiwanese team. Some of the kids were out of the country on vacation when they found out. They thought their journey was over. And instead, almost a week later, they find out, no, you're traveling about 8,000 miles to Williamsport, and you get to play at the Little League World Series.
Let's get the band back together. Get back with your boys. Get back to doing the things that you were doing great on the field. Get back to the routine, the regiment. It's one thing that you always see with Chinese Taipei is they're so disciplined about their routine, whether it be infield, outfield, whether it be taking swings in the cage, using the backfields here. There's always a method to everything that they do, which is impressive just to watch visually.
1 ball, 1 strike.
You watch them take infield, outfield, and then the fans afterward recognizing Lee Cheng-ta's team, the manager, with quite an ovation for just their infield, outfield.
Right, you'll notice here in Williamsport, fans will come just maybe even from Lomedy Stadium just to watch this team take infield, outfield, and then go back to maybe Lomedy or go back and doing some of the things that they were already doing.
Malboof with a big strikeout, and he's done great work the last few innings for Canada. To the bottom of the 5th, Chinese Taipei got a perfecto going. More than 50,000 Little League volunteers have completed the Little League Diamond Leader training program, and that provides an immersive experience to equip coaches and volunteers with the tools needed to provide an impactful and enjoyable experience to all Little Leaguers. Learn more at littleleague.org/Diamond Leader. Huge thank you to everyone here in Williamsport for being outstanding volunteers, and to the hosts as well, and our partners with Little League. There are some great people here. To the bottom of the 5th inning here in the international bracket. Chinese Taipei leads Canada 6-0. And the first pitch is up to start out. Nash Tomchuk, the leadoff man, who in the bottom of the 5th is only now batting for the 2nd time with this continuous batting order. Chiu Zhou Wei gets him to float one foul. Nash, one of the team leaders on the Canadian group, just turned 12 years old 2 weeks ago today. Coaches say he is one of the most talented players. He's got incredible athletic ability. And he's a leader too, because they say he's got that from his hockey background. So when you ask him his dream job, he says MLB or NHL. Either suffices. Chio's 1-2 in the air, behind, short, and caught for the first out. Xiao Xia run it down, and there's one gone.
Like that at bat from Nash there. Seemed like he was on time with the swing, was recognizing the pitches. Right now, if you're in Canada, you're just trying to have some good at bats to be able to take that through the rest of this game and continue that going moving forward into your games here in the future. Jackson Weir is one of the 2 Canada hitters to put the ball in play against the Chinese Taipei starter Fan Chun-Jun. And Chiu has been up to 71 as well, after Fan was up to 81. In the end, that's what we had him topping out at. Fight. 1-2 on Weir. And I think you highlighting, the velocity of both pitchers reminds us that Chinese Taipei, they usually have a good amount of depth when they come here. With them bringing 14 players, you know that they're going to have plenty of arms here to compete on the mound. Popped up foul back behind home plates and onto the netting. It gets really interesting too when you talk about the depth and then the decision to take Fan Chun-Jun out of the ballgame at 35 pitches. Because of that, he needs one day rest. If he had gone anywhere from 36 to 50 pitches, 2 days rest, and 51 to 65, 3 days rest. Now, if you win, you don't play until Monday night. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's 3 days rest. So you could have run him up to 65 pitches and still had him go should you win in your next game. Right. A strikeout for Chiu. And there's 2 gone here in the last of the 5th. And I think you make a great point because, yes, he could have gone out there a little bit longer, but remember, with them bringing 14 players, I think it's that much more adamant to be able to say, okay, let's let the next guy get an opportunity to throw, because later on in this tournament, there's going to be guys that you may need to count on, and if they maybe haven't gotten out there, they could be susceptible to jitters and nervousness, anxiousness. So I think it's important to get those guys an opportunity while you can. I think you're right, because remember Curaçao last year, the international champions, they had a guy who on their first game came out throwing 78 miles an hour, Davy J. Rika. And because of pitch limits, he couldn't go in the eventual championship game against Hawaii. So, I mean, it's worth figuring out what you've got behind there on this stage, because even no matter how much you've been playing in training, it's different here. 0-2 to Braden McQueen. Good stop back there
by Chen Kai-sheng.
That's also what's interesting about them bringing 14 players, because there may be more depth from a pitching standpoint. There could be more depth from a hitting standpoint. A lot of these teams didn't bring 14 players.
One-two to McQueen. And a strikeout for Chio. So it's 5 perfect innings from Chinese Taipei pitching. And the big bats loom as we go to the top of the 6th in Williamsport. Venezuela and Panama, and Tennessee against Rhode Island. Line shot starts things out in the 6th inning. Woo Yun-chi, the leadoff man, who had an RBI double his last time, smokes one into the gap.
Yeah, Woo's not waiting around. He's getting his swing off, did a nice job. And this is what I was mentioning earlier, just the ability to let balls travel, not feel like they have to go out and get the baseball. They have such balanced approach. The legs are strong. They got a great base, and then being able to shoot something to right that hard and then recognize, okay, it gets past the right fielder in Nuremberg, I can get to second.
Now Chen Kai-sheng. New arm is Tate Sexsmith for Canada. Big fan of Alejandro Kirk, Blue Jays backstop. And now on the bump. He didn't list just one nickname, he listed 3. Tater Tot, and of course, predictably, Big Sexy for Tate Sexsmith.
I wonder which one's his favorite. Did you have him listed in order of priority?
You know, I didn't ask young Tate if that's how he drew it up. Assistant coach Cole Paquin says Tate would be considered the team jokester. He's got an awesome attitude, and he's always looking to get a reaction from his coaches with that sense of humor. Full count on Chen.
He's the one always keeping the coaches loose. It's always one of those guys in the dugout for sure.
This one is ball 4, and Wu moves up 60 feet.
Nice job of Wu anticipating the pass ball there and being able to advance himself over to third. Less than 2 outs, that makes it that much easier for the next guy coming up to bat to be able to look to go something, drive something to the outfield, maybe sacrifice fly, but also with the infield bat, just trying to stay through the middle.
Does Fan Chun-Jun go deep here? What do you think? Wanted to.
I didn't know if he was going to give me enough time to answer. He's definitely looking to drive something. You can just tell an advanced approach, very strong, and it didn't take him much time last time.
This is what he did last time, indeed.
Yeah, we get another look here. I mean, a ball up in the zone. It left about as quick as it came in. And you can hear the crack off the bat, or the ping, should I say. Ball was smoked.
And now he pops this one up into short left, and Junior makes an excellent catch. Canada's defense has been outstanding.
Yeah, really nice play by Junior, being able to stay with that baseball. There's also a little bit of sun out there too, so you see him open up his hip, get to the ball, get his glove out there, retrieve it, but then also look towards Wu, who's at third. I'm surprised Wu almost didn't tag there. But really nice job there by Junior. He got the shade, so he good, covering half his face.
Good block by Tomchuk, who will let Chen go to second. What do you call those sunglasses? There's a name for them, right?
Yeah, I forget. The ones that are a little bigger, I'm trying to remember. That's a good call, Mike.
Is it the Pit Viper? Or is that a brand?
That might be one of the brands. I know he's rocking the Oakleys, which I rocked, but I didn't have the big ones. The big ones, they love those ones.
Popped up to the bespectacled Junior again. 2 down. Gosh, I've never sounded older than asking, what are those sunglasses called? I miss John Valentin wearing the flip-up shades. You know those, you could flip them up, flip them down?
Yes. I think he's rocking the Oakley Sutros, if I'm not mistaken.
First pitch swinging for Shu Xiaoxia. And a good pick by Weir on a McQueen's throw. And Tate Sexsmith, call him whatever you want. He gets out of the sixth. The Little League Baseball World Series on ESPN is presented by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Fan Chun-Jun's been the story so far today in this game against Canada, representing Taiwan. And our boss, Phil Orlins, texted us in like the second inning and said he is Jacob deGrom. All right, so what does that actually look like? deGrom averages 99 with his fastball, averages 92 with his slider. Fan has topped out at 81 and 71, so he's basically 105 with his fastball, maxing out, and 92 just like deGrom with his slider.
You already got the graphics team working. I love it. And you're not wrong. No lies detected. I faced deGrom, obviously someone that throws an extremely hard slider. But that's what Fan was doing. You think about the velocity on the fastball, but then some of those sliders that he threw were probably harder than some of the fastballs this Canada team has ever seen.
And now another arm comes on for Chinese Taipei. Tsai Yuan Hao. Canada's not had a base runner into the bottom of the sixth. So they got 4, 5, and 6, starting with Cannon Jr., the shortstop. .1-0 from Tsai. 2-0. Pretty good velo from the left hand.
2 balls, no strikes.
Junior with a mighty cut there. Comes up empty, and it's 2-1. Cut and a miss, 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Canada, big fan of Connor McDavid and Bo Bichette. Good bloodlines with Dad Deke, who we met earlier.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Canada's not had a base runner yet. And a 3-2. Cut and a miss, and there's one gone. Little League would like to extend a special thank you to its official sponsors like Dick's Sporting Goods and Capital One. These companies provide year-round support to the Little League program, and they help to create opportunities and experiences for families and communities. And Little League would also like to thank its dedicated volunteers who make the program a special experience for millions of children around the world. One gone, and Trayton Manzuk hurls it to first, and there's 2 gone. Well, we gave you the graphic of velo. How about this? Graphics guys working hard. Perfectos in the history. Over 76 years of this event, 7 of them. Wow. So it's up to Bryden Nurnberg, the right fielder for Canada. Ball 1 away.
Some Chinese Taipei fans maybe not happy we put that graphic up there, but I think the fact that we showed that just tells you how tough it is to do that here at the Little League World Series.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Chinese Taipei with 2 of those 7, both back in the 70s. 1-2.
Yes, he did.
There's so much history with Chinese Taipei. 2 different times, Chinese Taipei reached 6 straight title games here. The 1973 team didn't allow a single hit the entire tournament run. And now here, 50 years later, 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Two. On the ground, foul as Nuremberg battles.
Yeah, do whatever you can to try to put this ball in play. Keep battling up there, give your team an opportunity, maybe pass the baton to the next guy. See if you can get somebody on base and break up this great game being pitched by Chinese Taipei.
2-2 pitch. Up high and a full count. Are you swinging?
Yeah, you got to be ready to swing. I mean, but you still have to be selective, right? Got to get something that you can handle.
3-2. Cut on and missed. Taiwan. Perfect.
I mean, you just think about the job that Fan did. Started this thing off just extremely dominant. We talked a lot about the velo, the slider, but really it was the whole staff that came into this one with the 3 different guys that were able to all command their stuff for this combined perfect game. And credit Canada too. Obviously they weren't able to scratch a guy getting on base, but really tough at bats and really good pitching in the last 3 innings for them.
Dominant stuff. Chinese Taipei's 10th no-hitter here, and you saw their 3rd perfect game. Both of those are the most ever in Little League World Series history.
I mean, even when you have a lefty closing it out like that too, with an arm angle that's going to be tough to hit, you see the excitement. Mike, I have a feeling that Fan and this Chinese Taipei team are really just getting going on all facets of the game.
Incredible stuff. And think about this, as you check out the 20 teams here, we've had 4 games so far in the international bracket. 3 of them have been no-hitters of some kind. 2 combined no-hitters yesterday, Panama in the opener against the Czech Republic, and then Japan, and now perfection. 81 miles an hour from a 12-year-old. 71-mile-an-hour sliders and líneas as well. We'll be back right after this to wrap it up. A star was born today at the Little League World Series, Fan Chun-jun.
Fan set the tone today with the fastball velocity equivalent to 105 miles an hour at the major league level. And then you think about the slider that he was throwing today was something that had extreme movement. My man also turned around, grabbed his stick, and hit a home run as well. Just an absolute rope out to left field for a 2-run biscuit. He was the star of the day.
Unreal. He is standing by with Sebastian Salazar.
Thanks, guys. Fan was perfect today. What is not perfect is my ability to communicate in anything other than English or Spanish. So we got Phil Chang. He's the translator for the team from Chinese Taipei to help us out a little bit. I got to know how he's feeling after such a great performance.
你今天表现得非常，你感觉如何？非常好。He feels good too.
All right, so he's good at pitching. He's good at hitting. Which does he enjoy more?
你投得很好，那你打击也非常好。你喜欢哪一种比较更喜欢？两个都喜欢。You like both.
Okay. Well, I got to ask about the home run. That was such a moment. Can you walk us through it?
你今天打了一个全垒打啊，这是一个非常重要的、非常一个有纪念的。你可不可以把你的这种打击的经历、经过想法，可不可以跟大家解释一下？
He's at a loss for words for how quickly the ball left the stadium. I think I got to ask about his nickname because they were saying it all game, and I know it's ironic. Big Dummy, where does that come from?
Well, he just looked like doesn't know things. Like coach like to give him a big dummy just to make sure that people doesn't know he's good. It's an ironic name, but everybody know he's the secret weapon of the team.
And I know he's got parents watching back at home. I know there's some like midnight watch parties. What does it mean to him to have all that support back home?
那现在非常 is it for me or for
him?
OK， 你现在你家人一定是在台湾在看嘛？啊，你在这边表现那么好，你有没有什么感觉？你有没有希望你父母亲替你高兴？
希望他们都有在看。
He hopes that their parents is awake to watch his performance.
Oh, I bet they're awake. All right, I just got to know on the record, what's the fastest pitch he ever threw? Because he was clocking some big numbers today.
你觉得你投的最快的大概速度多少
？130。
He think he can today. He think he's clocked the fastest like 130 kilometer per hour, which is almost 80.
Wow. Okay, I'm glad you did the math on that one. Thanks. Thank you guys. We'll send it back up to you. Great to be with you guys. Great luck.
So Fan Chun-Jun knows exactly how hard he threw. He thinks he threw 130 kilometers an hour. Yeah, that translates to 80.8. He hit 81. All right, we're going to get you up to Labadee for a preview of the nightcap. Still plenty more to come, but for now, to Ravi.